Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today, I want to talk about the rookies of the NHL. As we've reached the halfway part in this 2019-2020 NHL season, I want to touch on really where a lot of players stand in regards to their statistics, and I want to look at other different types of trophy races, and I don't know if I'll be covering them all, but I definitely want to talk about the current state of the Calder Trophy race in the NHL. So for this list that I'm going to be talking about the current top 10 scorers in the NHL, the rookies, my thoughts about them, etc. I'm not going to be talking about the goalies, guys like Mackenzie Blackwood, Ilya Samsonov, Kaapo Kakinen, Chris Driedger, etc., because it definitely seems like goalies don't have much of a chance, if at all, to win the Calder this year. And it really doesn't happen often unless a goalie comes in and is truly a phenom. So with that being said, I'm going to just solely be talking about all the skaters, the top 10 in points. So to start it off, if you have been following the rookies in the NHL, you know that Victor Olofsson is leading the way right now for the Buffalo Sabres. He's currently first in point scoring out of all the rookies in the league. He has 35 points in 42 games, including 16 goals and 19 assists, and he has a plus-minus of -1. Now, Olofsson I've talked about on this channel numerous times already. Big fan of his too. He's really an easy guy to become a fan of, and quickly. He was drafted in 2014. He's 24 years old already, which is crazy. 7th round pick, who really was a diamond in the rough for the Sabres team that desperately needed goal scoring besides Jack Eichel. I would have said that without question Olofsson would win the Calder, but given the fact that he is now out with injury for 5 to 6 weeks, it seems most likely that he will not win the Calder this year. I fully expect players below him to get above him in stats, obviously. So unfortunately for Olofsson's case and the Buffalo Sabres, I don't see him winning the Calder, but up until this point, he was having a fantastic rookie year, so all I can hope for is that when he comes back, he is healthy and good to go and continues the pace that he's been on to start his rookie season. Love everything about his game. Great shooter. By far the heaviest shooter out of the players around him, rookie-wise. He already has 99 shots on goal this season, which is almost 20 higher than the second closest player in the rookie race, so that's really impressive. He also has the highest shooting percentage, most most power play goals. So Olofsson has been killing it. Obviously, really sucks seeing him hurt, but as of right now, he's still leading the way to win the Calder, but that isn't going to happen given his injury. So second in scoring is Cale Makar, who came off of an injury not too long ago, a couple weeks ago. Started off kind of slow. Coming off of his injury, seemed like he almost was rushed back, not necessarily looking 100%, but past couple games especially, Makar has picked up the pace and is back in the points column on a night-to-night basis. Makar, obviously 21 years old, was drafted in the first round in 2017. I believe he went 4th overall. And in 34 games played, he has 32 points, 9 goals, 23 assists, and has a plus-minus of +6. And what I want to add with Olofsson too, Olofsson was averaging 18 minutes and 20 or so seconds of ice time per game. And that's pretty good, especially for a rookie. But it's going to be interesting throughout this list that I talk about because there are some rookies, especially that are high in the point column and really aren't getting a lot of playing time, which is very impressive. So Makar also is high in average ice time with a little bit over 20 minutes. And he has been fantastic for Avalanche. I can't say enough good things. He seems like the most realistic player to win the Calder this year, but obviously things can change. Every rookie kind of has their hot streaks and their cold streaks throughout the season, so it's just a matter of how consistent will he be here on out. But given the kind of team that he's been around with this monster Avalanche team, I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever to see him end up top in the point column by the end of the season and winning the Calder. So very well could be possible. But third in the rookie point scoring is Quinn Hughes. Quinn was also drafted in the first round in 2017. I believe he went 7th overall. And he's 20 years old, and he averages 21 and around 18 seconds of ice time a game. So he definitely gets the ice time for sure. And he has been a crucial part in Vancouver's success In 41 games played, he has 30 points, including 4 goals, 26 assists, and he has plus minus and -5. So obviously that's something that he needs to continue to work on. But he's also a rookie. With most of these rookies, any of them that have a -2, I really don't think it's that big of a deal because they're adjusting to the league. It makes sense if they have some pretty bad games where they're the one line or the one player out there that gets the worst plus minus. It isn't that alarming to me, truly. And I've talked about this before, how I don't view plus minus as a huge deal. I think it's something more significant over a long playing time and the type of team that they're around. So Hughes has been fantastic for Vancouver, though. Is a huge part of their success and is crucial into why they are currently in a playoff spot in the Western Conference. And I really can't say enough good things about him. He is another fantastic skater. Him and Elias Pettersson, both young phenoms on that team. And Quinn could definitely make a good run for possibly getting the most points. But realistically, I don't see Vancouver making the playoffs. I just don't think they're deep enough yet. I think they're close, but especially with the goaltending, I don't think it's going to hold up for them throughout the rest of the season. I could be wrong, of course, but that's just my opinion. So assuming Vancouver goes on a little bit of a slump again as the new year is now here, I could definitely see his point production become more inconsistent, but things can change. So fourth in the point scoring is Nick Suzuki. Suzuki has been very impressive in my opinion. In 42 games played, he has 24 points, including 7 goals, 17 assists, and has a plus minus, a -2, so not terrible. But he only is averaging 15 and 20 or so seconds of ice time. So he's one of those that, unlike some of the other rookies on this list, are not getting as much significant ice time, aren't being put in as much crucial situations as the others, but they're still putting up the points, which goes to show that they're taking full advantage of the ice time that they are given, even if it is minimal. So Suzuki has been doing really well. He's another 2017 first-round pick, originally drafted by the Vegas Golden Knights, but was brought over to Montreal in a trade that I believe was revolved around Thomas Tatar. So overall, the 20-year-old Nick Suzuki has been doing really good for this Montreal team that desperately needs goal scoring and just depth overall, especially with all the injuries that they've dealt with lately, to the point where they've signed Ilya Kovalchuk for the remainder of the season. That should be interesting, but that's a conversation for another day. But Suzuki, very impressed with his game. He has lacked consistency here and there, but as a normal rookie would. I don't see him winning the Calder this year, but I can definitely see him being top 5 in regards to voting. So fifth in point scoring, and one of my favorite players on this list, I've been a huge fan of his since he was first drafted, is Martin Necas from the Carolina Hurricanes. The Finnish forward has really been fantastic at times. The consistency hasn't always been there, but he is a rookie, so it'll only get better for him as he gets older. But in 37 games played, he has 23 points, including 9 goals, 14 assists, and he has a plus minus of -3. And he only has been averaging 13 and a half minutes of ice time a game. On this deep Carolina team especially, Necas has been the most impressive almost on this list, in my opinion. Definitely one of them, given the fact of how much ice time he is getting. He's taking advantage, and he has really not been by any means a liability to this Carolina team that is expected to have a deep playoff run this season. So he is also 20 years old. He was drafted in the first round 2017 as well. A lot of the guys on this list are, but I think that actually cuts it off there in regards to the 2017 draft. But I love his game. Huge fan of Necas. I'm really excited to see what the future holds for him and just how crucial he will be on this Carolina team if he is going to be a big part of their core group going forward. So Ilya Mikheyev is 6th in scoring. If you don't know Mikheyev, he's from the KHL. He came over and signed a contract with the Toronto Maple Leafs this season. He's 25 years old. He has been fantastic. I really, really enjoy his game a lot, especially in the top 6 that he's been with Toronto. Whether you put him against Matthews or Tavares, he has thrived tremendously. He had a cold streak for a little bit, but then he was heating up really well. And unfortunately, Mikheyev is out for a significant amount of time, most likely at least the regular season, given the fact that he was cut by a skate blade on his wrist that tore, caught an artery, and tendons, everything there had to get fixed up, unfortunately. So he's out for the remainder of the season, which sucks because he was doing fantastic for them. But Mikheyev, I'm a big fan of. He really shows that, considering he's an older rookie playing in the KHL, he knows what it takes to be an everyday NHLer. And who knows? I don't really know what the ceiling is with him, given the fact that his background and everything. But he could very well be a huge bargain for this Maple Leafs team that definitely needed scorers on not league minimum, but not big contracts either because of how much of a problem they have with their cap space. But Mikheyev, in 39 games played, has 23 points, 8 goals, 15 assists, plus minus a +7. And if Mikheyev didn't get hurt, I definitely think he would have been getting really close to being top 3 in regards to the scoring for the Calder. Unfortunately, that isn't going to happen. He's not going to win the Calder this year, but up until this point, he was being very impressive and definitely a guy that I'm looking forward to watching next season. So, 7th in point scoring is biasly one of my favorites, Adam Fox. Adam Fox, if you know him, he's 21 years old, drafted in 2016 in the 3rd round by the Calgary Flames. Obviously, he denied playing for the Flames and continued playing in Harvard, and then was traded off to Carolina and denied playing for them too. He would only play with Rangers, and they ultimately got his rights and signed him to an entry-level contract. So Fox has been, in my opinion, by far the best overall defenseman on this New York Rangers team, which is alarming for the Rangers' sake, given the fact that they have guys like Jacob Trouba and Brady Shea, who they expect highly of. But Fox has been absolutely fantastic for them on the special teams or 5-on-5. He has contributed night in and night out. He also has been averaging just slightly over 18 minutes a game of ice time. And Mikheyev, who I didn't mention previously, averaged 15 and almost a half of ice time a game. So Mikheyev was really impressive too with limited ice time. And Fox is getting more and more ice time each game, given how consistent he's been, unlike the majority of the Rangers' defense. In 41 games played, he has 22 points, including 5 goals, 17 assists, and a plus-minus of +3. And really have loved everything about Fox's game. I'm so excited for the future with him, with this Rangers team, and seeing how much better he's going to get. And he is also the first Rangers defenseman to have at least 20 points in his first 40 games since Brian Leetch. So, as a Rangers fan, that is very enticing and just overall fills me with joy and excitement going forward to see what his ceiling is going to be. So, I don't think Fox is going to win the Calder. Even if he gets hot, I just don't see it happening. But I definitely think that he deserves consideration, especially if he keeps up the points going forward throughout the season. 8th, and the most surprising by far on this list in point scoring, is Dominik Kubalik. Dominik Kubalik was drafted in the 7th round in 2013 by the LA Kings. He is 24 years old. Really came out of nowhere. Made the Chicago Blackhawks roster this season, and has thrived in all situations, bounced all throughout the lineup. And with Chicago, struggling with their depth at times, Kubalik has definitely helped them when needed. In 40 games played, he has 11 goals, 10 assists for 21 points, and has a plus-minus of -1. But he only is averaging 13 minutes of ice time a game. So that is very impressive. Kubalik, if he can keep it up, if he can have possibly a 40-plus point season, that would be great for him. I really hope he does it. Going to be really interesting, too, to see how important this guy is going to be for Chicago going forward. I don't think he's a filler. I think he's more than that, and he seems to be a diamond in the rough. So I'm really happy for Kubalik and the things he's doing. Is he going to win the Calder this season? No. But is he definitely an exciting rookie that really bursted on the scene as a late bloomer? Yes. So really happy for his sake, and I hope he keeps up his play. So 9th in point scoring is John Marino, who I've talked about numerous times on this channel already. Marino was drafted in the 6th round in 2015 by the Edmonton Oilers. Pittsburgh was able to pick him up, I think, a couple seasons ago. And in his first rookie year with them, he's 22 years old. And in 39 games played, he has 18 points. That includes 4 goals, 14 assists, and a plus-minus of +14. So the best plus-minus out of all the players on this list. And he's been averaging just over 20 minutes a game. Marino, even though I'm not a Penguins fan, obviously, I've really admired his play. Really looking like a strong two-way defenseman who, like I said in previous video, if you haven't checked that out already in regards to who I think could be traded come the deadline, Justin Schultz came to mind to me because of how much Marino is making him replaceable as long as everyone, gets healthy and stays healthy. But Marino, really been impressed with his game. Really seems like he's going to be a stronghold on the Pittsburgh defense for years to come. Doesn't seem like he's going to go anywhere. And really another diamond in the rough type player that Pittsburgh really turns into gold. So that is great on their part. I commend them for their coaching, their systems, and just how well they are. And sneakily, defensively, they have been a very strong team for years now. So Marino, very impressive. And to finish off this video, I have two players because they are both tied in point scoring at number 10. And who would have guessed it? It is Kaapo Kakko and Jack Hughes. Kaapo Kakko obviously being drafted second overall in this past 2019 NHL draft, and Jack Hughes being first overall in that draft as well. Kakko and Hughes both have 16 points. Kakko has 7 goals and 9 assists in 37 games, while Hughes has 6 goals, 10 assists in 36 games. Hughes is better in the plus-minus column with a -10 versus Kaapo's -15. They have both definitely lacked consistency to start their rookie season, but it all makes perfect sense watching both of them a lot, really, especially Kakko. His consistency hasn't been there, but he really has been demoted in playing time a lot. He has seen plenty of more bottom 6 minutes than he has seen top 6 this season. And it's just an adjustment for him, and I'm not really that surprised whatsoever. Obviously, I was expecting him to burst on the scene a little bit more than he has, but it's nothing that I'm honestly worried about. He's going to continue to come into his own, and overall he has shown flashes of just how brilliant he can and will be, and I'm only excited to see what the future holds for him. Same thing with Jack Hughes, and Jack is also on a New Jersey team that had such high expectations in the offseason to everything going wrong to start the season, and they are not going to make playoffs by any means, but they have definitely been picking up the pace late since they traded Taylor Hall. It seems like the fact that they don't have that pressure on them anymore with having these expectations going into the season, that they've let loose and just kind of played the hockey that they were expecting to play in the start of the season. But Kakko and Hughes, both 18 years old, both going to be very entertaining to watch for years to come in the rivalry between the Devils and the Rangers, and both have shown flashes, like I've said, on the special teams, etc. But the biggest difference is Hughes has averaged just about a minute more per game than Kakko. Hughes is averaging around 16 minutes per game, while Kakko is averaging just 15. So, and especially lately, Kakko has had plenty of games of averaging between 10 and 12 minutes of ice time. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the rest of the season plays out. I don't see either of them making a strong case to win the Calder, but things can change if one of these teams can really heats up like the Devils have been, and Hughes's play has been as of late. He could sneak in there, but it would definitely take a significant jump and consistency throughout the rest of their rookie season. So that is going to conclude this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I thought it'd be a fun topic to talk about, where the top point scorers as rookies in the NHL stand, and really where they're going to be come the end of the season. I will reassess this as we get closer to the end, and obviously the end, and who seems to be winning the Calder. So thank you all again so much, and I will be back in a couple days.